Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Linda, formerly known as Mrs. Madison's mom. I have been told that my daughter doesn't want her name in the title, so it's Mrs. Linda from now on. Today I'm going to show you how I draw a dragon. So to start with, what I want to show you is, I always start with shapes that I know. So circles, we're going to draw a size of the circle. This is this circle here is what I drew for the start of the head. I'm going to draw a smaller circle, and this will be where his nose is. You can choose to have a short little nose, or you could put the circle out here, and that would give him a longer snout. I'm going to put it right about here. So I've got these two circles. Now I'm going to come up, maybe just not touch the circle. It just depends on how I'm feeling but this just kind of guides me where I want its snout to come. So I'm just going to come in like this and attach it to the bigger circle like that. And come down more flat in the front. For the bottom of the mouth, you can come straight here and come in like this. You can attach this right here if you wish. Next, for my dragon, our dragon, we are going to draw arms. Arms will be like an oval-y shape. This is the top of his arm. And a second oval shape. This is where his elbow is. Then down here, we're going to draw another circle, roughly about the same size as the head, but just a little bit farther back. Actually, I'll probably end up adjusting this as I go anyways. A lot of these lines we will erase afterwards. We're just getting the feel of the shape of the dragon that we want. So I think for myself, I think his head is a little bit big back here. So I actually want to cut this down and come more straight like that. And I'm going to curve out to the back. Now this shape you could use for doing dinosaurs as well. A dragon, obviously we're going to put some horns and some wings on him. However, this is a good start for a dinosaur. If you wanted to do something like this, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, you would actually just make his arms just a little bit shorter. But other than that, the rest of his body would be about the same. Next, we are going to add his foot. Again, a long, skinny, almost like a little French baguette loaf of bread, let's call it. That is going to be his foot there. Now this here, we want to come up. This is his jaw right here, and his neck front will come right here. This neck, I want to kind of give him a belly. So I'm going to come around like this. And that is going to be where his belly is. Next, I want to show a second foot. This is his behind foot. So I'm going to do the same, but I'm just going to stagger it just back a little bit. I can also add this knee area in here as well. Now I'm going to darken this line. This is his knee area of his front foot. That, and back of his foot. Okay, so I'm going to end up erasing, but this is the darkest, is the outline that we want to keep. Okay, and his arm, we're going to come like this. I guess I angled it a little bit. Now, so we're going to do his hand as a circle. This area here is his wrist, and we're going to do like a little jelly bean. Now we'll do a couple little jelly beans in here, and this is what we're going to go around and darken. Let's give him a fifth one there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these lines that I no longer need, that guided me in the positioning of his body. I'm going to get rid of this in here. I've erased all those lines that I no longer want. Now I'm going to do a tail. I shouldn't have darkened this. My tail, I like coming out like around like this, but I'm gonna actually, you can make your tail come out back here. Here, I'll just draw this. So you can have your tail come out like this. If you wanted, you could have your tail come up and around, maybe a little bit more flat here because it's touching the ground, right? So you could have a tail come like that. What I'm gonna do is I actually want the tail to come curving around in the front. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to curve like this, and it's going to start thick back here and come around into, you can have it curved, you can have it pointy, you could have a little devil tail end. Your end of the tail can be any shape that you want. I actually kind of like it a little bit more pointy. Okay. And this is my back foot here. Like that. Okay. Next, we are going to draw his horns. Horns can be done in a few different ways. You can have your horn any way you want, really. You can have your horns like this, and then kind of put little lines on it. You could have horns that spiral around like a ram's horn. You could have them come straight up. Or you could choose not to have horns at all, but honestly, use your creativity and imagination here. I like the ones that are slightly curved, and I'm going to add one back here in the background for his second one. And again, I'm just going to erase this line here. Okay. And then I'm going to put my little horn lines on it. Some dragons as well have little ridges and scales, so I'm going to start small, and really all I'm doing is just zigzagging. I'll go between these, zigzagging. I didn't change the angle of my hand here. Okay, and then I'm going to go smaller again once I get to the tail. Now, because I curved my tail, I actually end up wanting this part of his, oh, I did it wrong. Coming from this way, I probably want it here. Okay, so I did too many this way. I'm going to fix that. Okay, so I'm going to get to this point, and now I'm going to envision that his tail is kind of twisting as it's coming out to the floor. So I'm going to actually change what side the scales are on. Like that. I don't like this right here with his butt because, okay, I don't like this area here where the tail meets the body. I didn't like how that line was there. I'm just going to have it connected to his body like this. Work on an eye. Now your eye is going to be in this area in here. There is quite a few, again, ways that you can do your eye. You can customize it. So you could have just a circle and put those little cute little white kawaii dot eyes like that. If you do this kind of shape, you could add some eyelashes if you want. And again, this is your dark spot of your pupil. Sorry, dark spot. This would be your pupil, and you could color this like blue or green or something in there like that. If you want an angry eye, it's like he's got this like angry eyebrow coming down. Yeah, so again, this is just something that you can customize depending on how you want your eye. I'm just going to do this little kawaii eye because it is cute and it's very quick. Right here, we're going to have a little nostril. Now, I'm going to change how his mouth is. I like the idea of having a little bit of a lip poke down here. So I'm going to just change his bottom jaw to be a little bit farther back like that. Okay, he's looking a little bit sad, but you can, if you have your mouth, you can have it come up a little bit so it's more happy. Now it's coming down like this. You could bubble the top a little bit, come down like this, and then this would be your nostril sticking up a little bit. If you wanted to, you could easily add a horn on the end of your nose as well. There's different ways to customize this, again, up to whatever you wish. If you want an open mouth, and this would be back here a little bit, his nostril up to his head, and his mouth would be like this, and then coming to his jaw. So you see I left it open a little bit, and then I will show you near the end that you can actually add flames to this. Okay, so going back to the original dragon that we were working on, his belly, I like to draw stripes just because then when I color it, I can make his belly a different color. I actually forgot about adding his other arm back here. So again, the idea of this is your ovally shape, another ovally shape with a hand. I still don't like his fingers, they're kind of fat, but that can always, maybe on this one, if I do this, and if I just go long spikies. I think I like the long spikies more than the little beanie sausages. Yeah, they look more like claws. I like that one better. Again, it's pencil. Go ahead and erase it and do it how you want to. Okay, so we're going to do wings, and I just realized my eyeballs are in the way of my wings. So I'm going to erase my eyes. Sorry, if you want to refer back to that, I guess you're going to have to just rewind. Okay. So the wings, I'm going to put kind of right about here. Now when I attach my wings, I don't like to have like this one spot, like my wings coming out like this and they're only attached in this tiny spot. I like to spread it out a little bit to show that it's actually quite a bit attached to his body. Where we're putting the wings, we would just erase the back as well as the scales that were behind it. Again, wings, there's so many different ways that you can do wings. You can come straight up. So the idea is that your wings will probably be in this area, okay? So in this area, you can curve them. And if you think Halloween spiderweb type, and curve in like that. You can make them big, you can make them small. I'm just gonna... Okay, so for my wings, I want to make them a little bit more curvy. Come up, round, down, down, and then like that. Again, if I want to, I can make these into some little claws. So he's got sharp parts. Oops. You can add a second line in here. Again, if you want to add some extra color. You can add little lines for his vein type idea where the cartilage is that has his wings so he can collapse it and open it up. So this is the webbing in between, like there. Okay, so now if you want to add some scales on your dragon, there's a couple different ways, many different ways, I shouldn't say a couple different ways. I kind of like doing little circles. I start kind of small by his eye, and then I get a little bit bigger as I come out. They don't have to be even circles. They could be random little splotches. Okay. You could do that. I don't cover the whole body. It gets, when I color it, it gets complicated when I want to color these spots as well. It kind of seems really messy looking if I covered him all with these tiny spots, okay? So what I choose to do is I go around his eye. You know, I just keep adding a little bit here and there. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that. The next area that I could do is I could add spots and scales in this area here by his leg, as well as a little bit on his tail. So this was like my circles, my little random drops. They almost like little puddles of water. Another thing that you could do is if you did scales, I'm trying to envision this now. You'd go this way. If you did scales like the little, like almost like my pencil, I suppose, but your little scales, and I stagger them, you notice I do a U, 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 but the next one I start the U in the middle, U, U. Okay. And again, you can go smaller to big to, well, this one would be here. And they don't have to go all the way across. It can be again, and then I just kind of give the idea of a couple little U shape. Not sure how I feel about that. When I draw scales, what I think about is if I was petting a snake or even an animal, you go one direction with the fur. If you go think about drawing my scales, I like the idea of if I was petting him, those scales would lay down nicely. So in this area, I have his scales going. So if I was petting him on his back leg, they'd be laying down flat. If I drew them going up like this, if I was petting him like I would an animal, it'd be going against it and would probably be uncomfortable for him, and he would stand up. Yes, I think of the comfort of my dragon. So again, that's just options of things you can do for decoration. You wanted the fire to come out of the mouth. If you did a backwards C shape that comes out just a little bit more, curve there, curve here, and then they're going to come together into his mouth. Okay, and then I'm going to add another one, which is like a long S shape, and these ones here you can do a couple different, even a teardrop shape works, a long teardrop shape. That's an option you can do for fire. I'm just going to quickly show you. This is what we had done, my daughter and I, the first time when I was practicing before the Zoom video. So this is my dragon that I chose. I did the dots here, here, and here. You notice I got some small ones and some big ones. I liked the idea of color contrast, so she really pops. With her arms out like this, like I did, I felt like she should be reaching for something or holding something. So I went with a fire. And so this is the fire that I did on her, as well as some like little logs. When we did the Zoom class, we did actually end up doing one that we added a little marshmallows on a stick that she was holding, because then she was roasting marshmallows. That was just something that we did for fun. I drew this other one here, and my daughter colored it. I just bumped my dragon. My daughter colored it. She chose to do a water dragon, and her hands were out because she drew a cup of water, and the dragon is controlling the water and like levitating it out of the glass. So depending on the color you choose to do will depend on what type of dragon you do. If you want to specifically do a type of dragon, like say a fire dragon, what would be really neat is if you did say a dark charcoal gray and you did these little spots like the orange or the red, because it's almost like the molten lava cracking through the dark charcoal. That would be really cool. If you wanted a water dragon, you could do it in shades of blue with a little bit of green in there as well. Your imagination is the only thing that limits you when it comes to what type of dragon you want to do. You can adjust the arms. You could make them shorter. You could make them longer. You could have them coming straight down. You could have them so they're more down. Her hands are more down here. Again, different types of mouths and noses. This nose is here. You could have it so it's got a longer nose that comes out. You could do a massive big wings. You could do butterfly wing on it as well if you want to refer back to my how I draw a butterfly video. So you could easily, and your wings can be as big as you want, as soft with round corners. You could do spiky sharpness, you could do angriness, you could do happiness. This is up to you. So that is how I draw a dragon. And here, I'll just put this guy back right here. And that was my first one that I did. So I guess this one here, his belly, like every time I draw them, they do end up different. So his leg I did a little bit farther back, so he had more of a belly. But yeah, it's different. And then, like I said, and then I went and I did this one for my daughter afterwards. I tried to do very similar, but again, it's just a little bit different every time I do it. And there's so many ways you can customize these. Thank you guys. Have a good day.